So I've been married to Stella for 3 years. Everyone else thinks we're a match made in heaven. But only I know that she's been sleeping in the guest room for those 3 years. She's never even touched me. I placed the divorce papers on her desk, wanting to set her free. But then I saw her open diary on the table. Today, after he showered, he forgot to take his clothes. I couldn't resist and kept one. I froze. So that's where my missing underwear has been going. There's a black and gold pen tucked in the middle of that diary. Not the one I gave Stella. But the underwear she mentions in the diary is the one I just bought last week. Thinking back, I've lost over 20 pieces of clothing like pajamas and underwear in these 3 years. I thought maybe the wind blew them away, or I forgot them on a trip. Never once did I suspect Stella because she's so aloof. Since getting married, we've been more like polite roommates. She barely glances at me when we talk, so how could she be doing stuff like this? But last night, she said the guest bathroom had no hot water and asked to use my shower. I never suspected a thing. Turns out she was taking my clothes. But she can't even wear them. So what's she doing with them? Bad thoughts flashed through my mind, and my face heated up. I didn't want to think about it. I wanted to check the rest of that diary and search her closet in the guest room. But that would be wrong. I calmed down and decided to pretend I didn't see anything. I turned around, shut the office door, and stashed the divorce papers in my dresser drawer. Whether it's true or not, I'll find out soon enough. Later, Stella came home early. She called out to me from the living room because it was dark. "William." I came out of the bedroom with a stiff face. "You're back." I didn't make dinner. Stella was as unemotional as ever, even using my full name. But I had read that diary. Just imagining her using my sleepwear while keeping that cool demeanor. I could barely look at her. She didn't seem to notice anything unusual and handed me a blue gift bag. "No problem, let's eat out. This is for you." I reached out to take it and accidentally brushed against her fingers. Quickly pulled back. Stella's eyes dimmed for a second, but she returned to her usual self. Today is our 3rd anniversary. My gift for her was the divorce papers, but she got me something. Trying to suppress my mixed emotions, I said softly, "Sorry, I forgot to get you a gift." She didn't mind. "It's fine, I don't need anything. This watch suits you, so I bought it on a whim." I whispered, "Thank you." Stella said flatly, "You're welcome. Get ready and I'll book a restaurant." I changed into a dark velvet suit and put on the watch she gave me. It wasn't too fancy but looked good on me. As I opened the door, Stella glanced my way and seemed momentarily surprised. Our eyes met and my heart raced. But before I could say anything, she looked away. "Let's go," she said. Watching her distant back, I thought to myself, let's see how long you can keep up the act. The restaurant was warm, and I was about to loosen my tie when she suddenly looked up at me. Stella's sharp features softened slightly by her glasses made her seem less intimidating, more elegant. But her eyes at that moment looked dangerous. What?" I stammered. "Nothing, I'm stepping out for a bit." When she left, the suffocating vibe eased. For a second, it felt like she might attack. During dinner, Stella mentioned she's taking a few days off and asked if I wanted to visit home. In my plan, I was going to have that divorce talk with Stella, then go back. After my family's financial collapse, my dad's mental state wasn't great. He moved back home to garden and slowly got better. He still thinks Stella and I are happy together. I haven't told him about the divorce. If we go back together, the divorce papers will have to wait. Stella was waiting for my answer. I forced a smile and said, "Sure, if you're not busy, let's go together." As we left, Stella didn't move from the door. I looked at her. "Did you forget something?" Her gaze settled on my shoulder. Unclear. "Put on your coat." Maybe realizing her tone was too harsh, she softened a bit. "It's cold outside." After my shower, I looked at my dirty clothes bin, remembering the missing underwear. I wondered where Stella was hiding them. I deliberately left my pajamas out. If they're gone, it's proof. As expected, Stella knocked later, looking as impassive as ever. "Sorry, I need to borrow your shower again." I smiled and said, "No problem. Go ahead." Listening to the shower running was torturous. I couldn't focus on a book even for a page. Finally, Stella finished. She was as composed as ever. Get some rest, good night. Yeah, good night. As soon as she left, I dashed into the bathroom. Of course, my pajamas were gone. I was a mix of embarrassed and annoyed. I stomped to the guest room door, ready to knock when I heard muffled sounds from inside. What? Is she? My face burned with embarrassment. Not wanting to witness anything awkward, I returned to my room. Thinking about it all day led to a weird dream. I dreamed Stella came towards me with my underwear, smiling. I called her a pervert, but she leaned in, whispering, "William, wear them for me. Just me. Okay?" I woke up with huge dark circles. Stella was already on the phone with my dad. He was excited to hear we'd visit and said he'd cook a chicken stew. The two of them were chatting on the phone, with such an easygoing vibe, it almost felt like we were a real family. I was packing my bags with mixed feelings. Honestly, Stella was really nice to me. She encouraged me to keep painting. She didn't make unreasonable demands just because she saved my family. Instead, she treated me with respect. People outside think we have a deep connection and that we're a match made in heaven. I did have feelings for her, but she chalked all her kindness up to repaying a favor. I couldn't help but think maybe she only sees me as a brother. Besides that marriage certificate, we had nothing in common. But then I thought about the possibility of my pajamas being in her suitcase, and it made my skin crawl. All that seriousness was just an act. I shut my suitcase and locked away my feelings, determined to end this absurd marriage once I got back from my dad's. It was a near 6-hour drive back. Stella had a bit of a neat freak thing going on. She gave me a big bag of snacks, but I didn't open any. I was sprawled out in the back seat playing games. Stella glanced at me in the rearview mirror. "Aren't there any you like?" she asked. Wrong. She bought all my favorites. But it was her car, and I respected her thing about cleanliness. So I lied. "I'm not hungry." Midway, Stella stopped at a rest area. When I came out of the restroom, she was under a camphor tree talking on the phone. The sunlight slipped through the leaves, softening her upright shoulders. When she spotted me, there was a gentle smile at her lips. "Okay, bye. Call me if you need anything." That gentle demeanor. Just an act. As soon as I got in the car, I threw my jacket over myself and pretended to sleep, just to avoid more chit-chat. Stella's driving was smooth. Pretending to sleep turned into actual sleep. By the time I woke up, my dad had already opened the car door, telling me to get out. "William, you slept the whole way. Didn't swap with Stella to drive a bit?" Before I could say anything, Stella turned to me with a smile and said, "It's fine. He's not familiar with my car. Good for him to catch some rest. Sleeping so much in the day, how will you sleep at night?" Stella whispered with a chuckle, "If I can't sleep, then I won't." It's not often I get a break. Such a simple comment, yet it sent chills down my spine. I jumped out of the car and rushed into the yard as the aroma of chicken soup wafted over. "Dad, I'm starving. Can we eat?" All right. Let your taste buds savor your old man's cooking." "Stella, join him to wash up. Keep an eye on him, or he'll sneak a bite." Stella, lugging my suitcase, followed my dad with a giggle. "Sure, I'll keep him in line." Hearing Stella's voice put me on edge. The moment she came in, I scrambled out. My dad's place was spacious and bright, with all sorts of flowers whose names I didn't know. I snapped a few photos after washing my hands and sent them to friends. I was typing when Stella suddenly appeared behind me. "That's Weeping Jasmine." Startled, I stood up in haste, nearly stumbled. Stella reacted swiftly, catching my arm. "Careful." Her clean fragrance hit my nose, and my heart started racing spontaneously. Liking someone makes even their scent appealing. I was just about to push her away when my dad stepped out with the chicken soup. "Dinner time." "I saw nothing, you two carry on." Embarrassed, I dashed into the house. After dinner, an awkward realization hit me. My dad had only prepped one guest room. "One room?" I exclaimed. Dad looked puzzled. "It's just you two." "Isn't one enough?" Stella chimed in, "It's plenty, thanks, Dad." Her deep-set eyes lingered on me, sending shivers down my spine. Lying on the bed, my mind raced. I decided to text Stella. How about you and Dad go out to play mahjong tonight? Stella replied, I'm tired from driving. Fair enough, after 6 hours, that makes sense. Okay, I'll sleep in the living room. Watch TV all night. Stella, there's no heating in the living room. What now? Could I really share a bed with Stella? I wasn't sure I could trust myself. I carefully texted her back, but sharing a bed is a bit inconvenient, right? This time, Stella didn't reply immediately. Outside, she was chatting with Dad. Anxious, I paced around the bedroom. No response. No room for negotiation. Not long after, Stella came back. I feigned sleep under the blanket while she showered. The tension mounted, and after napping over 3 hours during the day, sleep was elusive. The night silence was deafening. I heard her every move. The water in the bathroom stopped, and she was drying her hair. Then, she opened the door and approached. The mattress dipped slightly with her weight. Her familiar scent drifted over. She used my shower gel. I swallowed nervously, trying to steady my breathing. Stella's foot brushed against my leg under the blanket. Sorry, it's okay. You're not asleep? Isn't it stuffy under there? The air became almost tangible. I clamped my eyes shut, pretending I hadn't spoken. But Stella moved closer, her warmth enveloping me. How come I never noticed how intoxicating this scent was? I held my breath, keeping up the pretense. William, did you read my diary I left on the table? My eyes flew open, revealing my face. No, I didn't read it. Who'd have thought I'd meet her dark eyes head on? She furrowed her brows slightly. Didn't read it? My bad, I didn't leave it out clearly enough. Why is she sounding disappointed? Is she dropping the act? Admitting to stealing my clothes? I tossed off the covers, intent on confronting her. Suddenly, she grabbed my wrist and softly said, 3 years and you're still afraid of me. As she spoke, Stella leaned in closer, her voice husky, whispering near my ear, but I can't hold back anymore. William, holding back hurts too much. Touch and see. My fingers brushed her warm, smooth skin, and I yanked my hand back instantly, my ears burning. Stella, have you gone mad? Tonight, she and my dad were chatting over drinks and ended up having a few too many. It was home-brewed liquor and quite strong. Her pale skin had a slight blush, her eyes looked misty, and she gave me a sad look. You don't want to touch me? She was definitely drunk. Her disappointed tone gave me goosebumps. Tonight Stella wasn't her usual aloof self. After her shower, her long black hair softened her sharp features. Without her glasses, her long lashes made her look delicate and vulnerable. I recalled something she wrote in her diary and asked cautiously, Stella, have you had too much to drink? No. Then, was it you who took my clothes? Yes, it was me. What did you do with them? Stella looked lost in thought. She whispered, I did something bad. I suddenly remembered that day outside the guest room, hearing those suppressed breaths. Pain mixed with pleasure. It was obvious what she was doing. My face went bright red. Writing secretly in her diary, taking my clothes secretly. If you like me, just say it. I wanted to hear her say it herself. I pretended to be angry, glaring at her. What exactly did you do that was so bad? Stella's dark eyes fixed on me. She crawled closer, trapping me at the headboard. William, I can't say it. Can I just show you? Show. It's always about doing. Blushing, I pushed her away. Stella wasn't expecting that. She fell back onto the blanket, bracing herself with her hands behind her. Under the warm yellow light, her face showed surprise. Her chest heaved. Her pajama's loose neckline slightly revealed the skin below her collarbone, clean, sharp lines. Paired with her indifferent face, it was just too much. You, get out. She lowered her head, glancing at her pajamas with a bitter look. William, like this, it's not convenient to leave. I followed her gaze, feeling embarrassed. Stella, how could you? She sighed softly. I've always been like this. Afraid of scaring you, that's why I sleep in a different room. 3 years. You've lasted that long? Sorry, if you don't like it, I'll control myself better. Tonight, I lost my head because I drank. If I touch you again, it could really hurt you. William, just go to sleep. I'll use the restroom. I immediately understood what she meant. I dove under the blanket, avoiding any more eye contact. But she didn't move, just sat on the bed looking at me. What are you doing? I peeked out. Do you want me to help you? Stella froze, swallowing. Can I? Of course not. Well, can I borrow your clothes just once? I'll buy you lots of new ones. Don't even think about it. I only brought 2 with me. But without your clothes, it's hard. Stop it. You weirdo. I couldn't take it anymore, hiding my very red face in the blanket. But little did I know, Stella stood at the bed's edge, feeling completely crushed. After a long silence, she whispered, I'm sorry. That night, Stella didn't touch me. She also didn't go to the bathroom. Instead, she curled up at the end of the bed without even a pillow. The next day, she claimed she had work at the office and left first, telling me to stay a few more days. My dad didn't know what had happened between us, but he could sense something. Stella talked with her gaze fixed on me, while I avoided her eyes. After she left, he asked if I fought with Stella. I denied it. No, there's nothing to fight about with her. While peeling edamame, he said, Stella's a really decent person. But in love, she's as oblivious as a log. I was slightly surprised. I didn't expect him to be so spot on. Who writes everything in their diary instead of just saying it? Truly oblivious. Seeing my frustration, he chuckled. Her first year at work, a senior exec tried to hit on her, got her drunk, and wanted to take her to a hotel. Want to know what she said? What did she say? My mom imitated Stella's blank expression. You want to sleep with me? You're disgusting and ugly. I widened my eyes and burst out laughing. That brave? Didn't she upset the client? Mom laughed and shook her head. Yeah, almost lost the deal. Luckily, I smoothed it over with the company through a dinner. That girl's unstoppable. Next year, she got that exec ousted. Everyone in the circle knows her decisive style. No wonder my mom always said Stella was her most promising mentee. I finally understood what Stella meant on our wedding night. William, don't feel burdened. Your dad helped me back then, and I'm just returning the favor. I'll sleep in the guest room. Good night. My playful feelings were quickly doused by her remarks. But Stella has always been one for clear-cut boundaries. The first time I met her, I had brought friends home. She happened to be leaving my dad's office. She had this fresh, clean vibe. Wearing her school uniform, she was tall and slender, her gaze cool and rebellious. She gave me a quick nod before leaving. My friend asked who the beauty was. I hid my fascination, shrugging, no idea. I later asked my dad. He told me she was a student he'd sponsored, trying to repay her scholarship. He didn't take the money. I joked about her backbone back then. Later, she was admitted to our top university and came again, trying to repay the money. My dad refused it again. I thought she was just stubborn, afraid of owing anyone. But my dad always said she'd achieve great things. True to his words, she ended up saving our family's mess. I'm grateful to her, but there's always a bit of intimidation. My dad sighed, William, I'm getting old. If you and Stella can be together, I'm truly happy. But if you aren't happy, don't feel bound to this obligation. All I want is for my son to be happy in his marriage. Tears welled up in my eyes, and I turned away. Who said I wasn't happy? I was fine. Just a woman who's all tough exterior, with feelings scribbled in diaries instead of spoken out loud. I needed to face her, clear things up. Either we separate or we make it real like a normal couple. I didn't want it to go on this way. Behind Stella's back, I booked a ticket back. But I didn't expect this. The airplane landed in a heavy downpour. While booking a ride, Stella called. William, Dad told me you're back? Damn, Dad sold me out. I stammered, trying to think of what to say. Wait at the airport for me. I'll be there soon. All right. Call ended. I looked out through the window. The trees were swaying in the rain. It reminded me of a time before, coming back from a trip. It was summer and it was pouring. I finally got a cab to my neighborhood. Ran to the elevator. Still got soaked. When I got home, Stella saw me and frowned. She looked upset. After I changed, she handed me a cup of hot ginger tea. She calmly said, next time, tell me in advance. I'll pick you up. But I always felt like we weren't close. Aside from a marriage certificate, we were nothing. Stella didn't make me wait long. Guess my dad told her my flight. In the wind and rain, she was there with a black umbrella, walking toward me. Her heels splashed through puddles, pants soaked, sticking to her skin. She moved the umbrella, revealing her sharp, distant look. Sorry I'm late. My heart skipped. I stepped under the umbrella. You're not late. On the way to the car, she held the umbrella more over me. Her clothes got soaked. She took off her jacket, but her shirt underneath was wet too. Clinging to her, outlines visible. There's a clean towel in the glove box. I reached over to get it. Stella paused, awkwardly took the towel. I can do it myself. She was still avoiding me. She was drenched. I grabbed her collar, insisting, You're soaked. You need to change. She looked up suddenly, a flash of panic in her eyes. No need, we're almost home. Yes. You don't change. I'll help you. I moved to the driver's seat. A bit cramped, Stella adjusted her seat. My heart pounded. Fingers brushed the shirt button. I realized her heart was racing, almost out of control. Stella looked up at me, eyes locked. I leaned in impulsively, kissed her on the lips. She froze, hands open, unsure. Since I'd already kissed her, I kissed her chin next. Stella shivered, let out a soft breath. The next second, she cupped my neck, kissing me back. Raindrops pattered on the car window. Dim light didn't reveal much inside. Just tree shadows seemed to have something to say. Stella couldn't stop. My head got dizzy. When she finally let go, my lips felt numb. She hugged me tightly, whispered, Sorry. I was still dazed, only thought, Let's go home. Stella drove fast all the way back. Asked me to shower first. When I came out, she'd changed and had dinner ready. From the wine rack, I picked a bottle of red wine. Turned to Stella. Want some wine? She glanced at me. Do you want to? I explained. Just thought, if you drink, you'll be braver. Like the other night, confessing you took my pajamas. Tonight, you need to admit you like me. Stella nodded. Okay, I'll join you. At dinner, she poured me half a glass of wine. Why didn't you wait for me to pick you up? Missed you, I guess. Stella paused, unsure she heard right. I boldly asked, Don't you miss me? She nodded seriously. Barely touched dinner, drank most of the wine. Not sure if it was the wine or her gaze. My face felt hot. Couldn't stop thinking about that kiss in the car. After dinner, Stella tidied up. Brought me some fruit, watched me eat. Her gaze almost pierced through me. Yet she sat properly. Her fingers moved on her lap. I turned to her, softly asked, "Wanna hold hands?" Stella looked at me, nodded. I took her hand. "Hold if you want." Her palm was warm. The TV couldn't focus on it. My fingertips lightly traced her palm. Stella shivered. Her ears turned red. "William, want a kiss?" Her eyes on my lips. About to nod. I pulled her in and kissed. Didn't control the force. Kissed a bit hard. Blushing, I let go. "Kiss if you want." I wanted to show her with action. Do what you want. No need to hold back. But Stella was stunned by my kiss. Her gaze, filled with desire, was intimidating. I let go and stood up. "I'm going to my room." Before I finished, Stella pulled me back. Heart racing, Stella pulled me close, kissed me. Her clean scent enveloped me. Lost in the sea of desire. Almost suffocating, Stella let go. Her hand slid to my waist. Asked, "Is this okay?" I looked at her, nodded gently. In the bedroom, the bedside lamp turned off. The rain outside was loud, like our hearts beating together. In the dark, couldn't see each other's faces. Seemed to give me more courage. Her warm kisses traveled down my neck. Stella let me approach. I paused deliberately, asked, "Stella, do you like me?" Stella's voice was hoarse, softly. "Yes, very much." "Since when?" "A long, long time ago." I bit her in frustration. "Then why didn't you say anything?" "At our wedding, let me sleep alone." Stella winced, touched my hair. "I wasn't sure if you hated me. You blamed me first. You rejected me. I was hurt for a long time. Did you know?" Sorry, I took advantage of your situation, married you when you were vulnerable. My mind was in the gutter, couldn't help myself. If you knew what I thought about during our meals together, you'd find me disgusting. I kissed where I bit her. Stella's breath hitched. She held me tightly, pinned me down, propped with one hand, stroked my face with the other. I fooled myself, thinking we had plenty of time, that one day you'd accept me. But I accidentally heard you consulting about divorce with a lawyer. I got scared, left my diary open, hoping you'd see it, confront me. But you did nothing, made me panic even more. I grabbed her right hand as it started to drop. I yelled, "Oh, so you were eavesdropping on my call." I actually had the divorce papers ready, planning to leave the silent turtle. Before I could say the word divorce, Stella leaned over and shut me up for real. "No way, I don't agree. Punish me however you want, just don't mention those two words." Fueled by liquid courage, I pointed at her and said, "You're the one who said it, no backing out." Stella replied softly, "Yeah, I said it." I pushed her away and leaned over, turning on the bedside lamp. Then I grabbed the blanket to pick up the nightgown lying on the floor. I tossed it onto Stella. "What did you do with my nightgown? Show me again." Stella's gaze darkened instantly. Marks on her shoulders and chest hadn't faded. She was dangerous yet alluring. She chuckled softly, grabbing my wrist. "William, are you sure this is a punishment?" "Of course." Half an hour later. "Weren't you punishing me? Why are you giving up so soon?" "Stubborn. Come here and give me a kiss." Outside, the rain had stopped without us noticing. But the sounds inside sure didn't quiet down. Stella said she'd never write in a diary again. What she wanted to say or do, she'd let me know without holding back. She was right. We have so much time ahead. To love one another. Stella's epilogue. The first time I saw William, he walked in laughing, bathed in summer light, almost too dazzling to be real. But there was a girl standing next to him. How annoying. I nodded at him and walked away. Didn't even say a word. John had already mentioned his son to me. John spoiled him a lot. And seeing him, I wanted to spoil him too. But I'm not worthy. At least not right now. I have a habit of keeping a diary. Maybe William will never know. My first diary and fountain pen were gifts from him. He had lots of stationery. Whatever he didn't use, he'd pack up and send to kids like me. When I got those notebooks, I was stunned for a while. One of them was his diary. I know reading someone's diary is rude, but I didn't mean to do it. When I opened the first page, there it was in his neat handwriting. September 1st, sunny. School starting, got a new notebook, gonna write in my diary. Hope my grades improve a bit this year. Dad promised, even if I move up just one spot, he'd let me and Dave travel to Nepal. I can do it, let's go. A thick diary, and he only wrote one page. He probably went to Nepal many times by now. I felt like I was longing for a fairy tale I could never reach. On impulse, I picked up his navy blue fountain pen and started writing on the second page. It felt like this created a bit more connection to his world. John and I stayed in touch. Occasionally, I'd visit his house but rarely bumped into him. I laughed at myself for dreaming impossible dreams, yet unwilling to give up. How would I know if I could stand by his side if I didn't try? But life played a huge joke on me. John's family went bankrupt, betrayed by someone they trusted. I pulled all my resources and connections to save them. John said he couldn't repay this. Shamelessly, I asked to marry him. John refused, but William walked in, saying he was willing. I lowered my head, didn't dare to look at him. I heard his footsteps, and that's when I proposed. I gambled, and I won, but I can't forgive myself. On our wedding day, William wore a suit, walking toward me like a prince. I felt like a fairy tale was coming true, but I wasn't a noble princess, just a servant longing for him. How do I make him understand that if he wants, I can be his servant for life? Everyone congratulated me. No one noticed my hand trembling at my side. At night, looking at his serene face in the lamplight, my blood boiled. He was so nervous. His eyes avoided mine. How could I bear to touch him? I tried to reassure him, "Don't be afraid of me." It didn't seem to work. Our relationship became polite yet distant, not making any progress. He loved traveling, and I never asked about his trips. Just once, he was leaving, and he forgot to bring in the clothes drying on the balcony. He texted me to help put them in his room. Feeling the soft, light fabric, my heart shamelessly sped up. Only one thought in my mind: he has so many similar clothes, losing one wouldn't get noticed. Human greed has no end. I harbored terrible thoughts. If he found out and confronted me, I would have just given up. I'd been holding back so long, almost turning into a freak. But this clueless guy never once noticed. Until that day, he came home while on the phone with a lawyer, talking about divorce. He probably didn't know I was home, chatting in the living room with no reservation, about splitting properties, about compensation. Leaning against the door, I was in a daze. I wanted to rush out, kneel and beg him, "Don't divorce me. Don't leave me. Pity me, even if it's just charity." After it got quiet in the living room, I realized my face was wet with tears. I know I'm obsessive. I'm crazy. When I want something, I make it happen no matter what. But loving him, if he doesn't agree, there's nothing I can do. I locked myself in my room without him noticing. I heard his light footsteps occasionally passing through the living room. I heard him humming, as if leaving me was some kind of relief for him. Felt like I died a little right then. Our 3rd anniversary was coming up soon. How could he leave me at a time like this? That night, I used a ridiculous excuse about my shower being broken to use his. He was sitting on the bed with a face mask on, wearing pure white silk pajamas. It was incredibly tempting, yet he was completely unguarded around me. His scent lingered in the bathroom. There was a wicker basket nearby with the clothes he had just changed out of. My blood rushed somewhere, and I couldn't think straight. When I left, I took something with me. He'll definitely notice. He has to. After I got back, I wrote it all down in my journal. I tucked it in right in the middle of the first page with a pen. This pen, he gave it to me on our 1st anniversary. Black and gold, a collector's edition. I cherish it and rarely use it. Normally, I use the royal blue pen he used to have. If he notices something's missing, he'll come to find me in my room. He'll see the journal. And if he flips back, he'll see all my confessions. I hope to see him finally get mad at me. His polite smiles just aren't enough anymore. I want to see him angry, see him cry. I want to hear him softly calling my name. For our 3rd anniversary, I gave him a watch. I had it custom made half a year ago by a Swiss craftsman. Something unique, just like him. I was terrified he'd pull out a divorce paper and tell me it was my gift. Thankfully, he didn't. I caught a glimpse of guilt on his face. Maybe there's still hope. At dinner, I decided to set aside my work and go back with him to see John. He won't be so distant with me when he's around family. That evening, I intentionally had a few more drinks with John. Liquid courage. I mustered up the guts to confess my feelings. But he still pushed me away, even called me a freak. Felt like being stripped and laughed at. Left me ice cold. I couldn't even find a word to argue back. My possessiveness over him has been twisted for so long. With one simple sentence, he sentenced me to death. The next day, I left, feeling defeated. Only God knows how excited I was when John told me he came back early. I checked the flights and called him right on time. It was pouring rain. I had to pick him up. 2 years ago, he went traveling alone and didn't tell me when he returned. He got soaked to the skin. I was both anxious and furious. He'd rather get drenched than call me. I was angry at myself for being so helpless. But this time was different. As I walked towards him, I saw the joy in his eyes. And to my surprise, he kissed me in the car. Was it because he felt bad I got caught in the rain? If that's the case, I could drench myself every day. That night felt like a dream. He was so sweet and adorable. He even made me do it for him right there, saying it was my punishment. If that's punishment, I want it every day. After that, I did everything I could to please him. He said we had a long, long future ahead of us. As I held him sleeping in my arms, my eyes welled up. Was that a promise to me? Yes, it had to be.